Yeah, they said it was going to snow. It sure did. Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. So I'm going to start this video here in the apartment. So this is going to be a walk around showing you what's going on going into 2025. And I'm going to start here in the apartment and just show you a brief shot of all the stuff I hauled in. And because I've already done a video on that, I'm not going to go through it all. But for those that haven't seen that last video, I'll just go by that. And I want to show you what's going on in this room behind me. It's a little bit crazy. So let's get going. So yeah, here's all the stuff I hauled in from the North America Honeybee Expo. Lots of stuff, and I'm excited about getting this going. So got Apame, Endura Hive, some Bob Benny stuff there, more Endura hive components, a smokeless smoker, which is really neat. Let's see, there's some honey supers, pink frame from Acorn, got some Hive Alive stuff. Oh, I didn't go over this stuff here in my last video. We'll catch it later. I'll add it in. Okay, back here in this room, it's Fern City. So we got grow lights in here, and we bring our ferns in the winter and put them in this room and keep them watered. And we put them out the next year, and they bounce back really good. These really big ones here are really pretty, but unfortunately, we left them out one night when it got down to 28. So you can see they got some freeze damage there, and some stuff fell off of them. But they'll be okay. We'll trim off those leaves, and they'll put out new ones. And that's a different variety of fern, and they're really big and lush and pretty. And all the beekeeping equipment's back here. There's the charcoaler cover that's covering my extractor and bottling tank from Hilco and uncapping tank. And there's where I keep my buckets. There's 24 of those 90 mil buckets in those boxes there, uncapper. And I got some just stuff stored up in here. I didn't need to buy any foundation because there's a bunch right there. And here's my honey for my sugar for mixing up some nectar. And got my vermicomposters out here. Got a couple little worm things going there. You can see them. All right, let's get on outside and show you. Actually, let's go through the barn because there's something out there I did a while back I want to show you. So remember my wax moth disaster? So I cleaned up a bunch of the frames best I could, and I melted the wax in a paint strainer bag, and I'll be able to get that out. I don't want to touch it because it'll be really sticky because there's a lot of honey in there, or sticky honey like stuff. So there's a little piece of that wax. So now it needs to be clean out the water, scrape, refilter, and filter it through a cloth. So yeah, I don't know if that wax is going to be any account. It looks really dark there, but it's underneath that. I think it's going to filter out light, but lighter. It's not going to be nice light colored wax, but I don't know. I'm just doing this to see if it's worth the effort. And initial indications are no, it's not going to be worth the effort. All that work just for that little bitty bit of wax. It's probably just going to be like just bust them out, throw them in the trash, and put new foundations in, or power wash the plastic ones that are left. Here's my honey supers. Got them in here stored. I have the paramoth wax moth crystals on them. That's a bunch of supers. Why did I buy 10 more supers? You can never have enough, I guess. So, all right, let's get on outside and I'll show you what's going on out there. So a lot of time has been spent over in here. Well, for one thing, my first project was I put me in a Cat 5 line from my house down here to my barn. So now I have reliable internet, and it's not that point-to-point over the air thing that I got. I had a thing in the window running from there up to that window on the top of the house, and it was clunky and slow. Oh, what a pretty sunset. So that took, oh, well, digging the trench, I did that as part of my water project, but running that line and getting it all buried, that took the better part of a whole day. So when we had the little tornado that started right here, had a big tree down right here, and there's another dead tree in there, and there's a lot more. Like that tree right there is dead. I need to take it out. So hopefully this week I'll be able to get in here with the saws and clear that out. So you can see here, I want to show you this because this caused me a bunch of misery and pain. Yeah, so right here is where one of the trees was that broke off. This is the one the wind blew over, and the one that I cut out was right there. But this one, see that thing sticking up? That's a vine. And not only is it a vine, it's poison ivy vine. And I found that out the next day. It was all over my arms, and I looked like some kind of leper at the bee expo. Yeah, my arms were covered with it. It's on my legs, my neck, my chin. It is all over me. So I had calamine lotion all over me trying to get that stopped. So that's a thing. So now the next thing with these trees is I have to take out basically all these trees right here. And the reason is I have a septic tank right here, and my house sewer comes right down here, and I'm using this same septic that I used when we lived in this trailer. So I dug by hand with a shovel all the way around it and put a membrane down because of roots. So roots are getting in my septic tank and messing it up. So I'm thinking I'm just going to have to take out all these trees right here, and probably those over there as well, because there's roots coming up from this direction. There's roots along in there, and they're getting in here, and they're getting in the top right there where these lids are, is where they're coming in at. So there's that. The next thing is my watering system. So you see this trench here. So this is not water, this is a power line. So I've got 3 12-gauge wires here running down to my creek. So I've got 220 going down there, 220, 240, whatever it takes. So I got to still string all that wire into this PVC conduit. I got all this white PVC for free, so that's why I'm using that, not the gray. So that's 1 inch. So that's my power that's coming off of my building here. That's going to power my water pumps. And I did this last year, 2024, in the summer. I did it with 4 12-gauge extension cords and water hoses. So it does work. So I wanted to do it that way before I started trying to do all this permanent. So this is what I've been working on through December, and trying to get this done. So here's the rest, the other trenches. So these are the water line trenches here. So I'm tapping into some existing water lines there that comes off my cistern tank. I have a cistern tank on the other side of the barn there, 2,000 gallons, and the line from it runs down here to my water well. So my water well puts out only 150 gallons a day. So it pumps every day at midnight up there to the cistern. So I added in some valves here to tap in my creek pump setup, and I can shut off my cistern feed, and my creek feed will feed all my hydrants that go down this way. And I have drip system on trees and all the way down to my old barn, way down there. There, you can see it. So there's a hydrant way down there on the other side of that, and the beehives are right here. So that's one of my major projects I've been working on. So I'll walk and show you that. I did show you in a video prior my creek setup and all the pumps and how they were hooked up. I won't walk down there this time. So I added in here a hydrant. So that's off of the cistern pump and not the creek pump. So I wanted a hydrant close to the chickens. And I got all that buried before it froze. And then there's my trench for the power line. So I'm running the power line right here. I'm going to run it into the chicken coop. I'm going to have a junction box here. So when I run my heat lamp out here and my heated water jugs, it'll keep the, I don't have to run an extension cord out here. So that's why I have that there. And then the power line heads on down that direction. So here's my, we'll walk around there. I'll show you the rest of that. Here's my cold frame. I have winter greens in here, Asian greens, so they survive the 13-degree weather. They need to be watered. Looks like I have a digging varmint in there. Dadgummit. Look at that. He's staying in there because it's nice and warm. This is pak choi and bok choy. Yeah, that's dry. So I don't have it hooked up because my hydrants, because when I depressurized my system to connect in over here, it formed a leak up here where I have a hydrant way up there. There's a splice in there, and those splices tend to leak sometimes. And that splice, there's a hydrant right there. That splice is leaking. So I had to shut off my cistern tank pump. So none of these are pressurized. So this is my existing hydrant. That's the high pressure from the cistern tank well water. And here's a hydrant I added. That's going to be creek water. And I added this cutoff valve here for this hydrant, that hydrant, and the one up there. They're all three tied onto that. That's probably way more than y'all care to hear about or understand. It's crazy. So the trench comes down here, and to my lower garden where I do watermelons and things like that, cantaloupe, tomatoes. And I added a hydrant right here. So this will be only strictly creek water. But I can switch to the cistern on these with my valves that I was showing you. So when the creek does run dry, I can switch it over, and I can switch to city water too if I want. And here's the trench next to this behemoth barn my neighbors built right on the property line. Oh, here's another thing I did. Because of this barn, we planted these green giant trees. They're supposed to get about 30 foot tall, 15 foot wide. So I planted them all down through here, cover up this stupid ass barn they built right here next to my property. Look at that thing. There's someone in there working on it now. I don't know what they're going to do in there. I don't care as long as they're quiet. So here's the trench going on down. There's some of my old extension cord. And I had to backfill all this by hand right here because I couldn't get my tractor on it. And I have a cutoff valve right here. So I can shut this off if I want and back pressure it from above and not down here. So there'll be two pumps down here, one coming out of the creek, one halfway up. Well, three pumps actually, and a jet pump right here. That's my main pressure pump that'll feed into this. So the gray line is my power, 2 phases. I only used a 1-phase motor, but I ran an extra wire just in case I wanted to switch to a 2-phase motor. and then that's the water line. So I ran 1 inch PVC. Okay, there's the pond that you saw that was full probably in the last video, or on my Facebook page. It's dry as a bone now. It's got a sand rock bottom. Okay, let's walk over and look at the bees real quick. Then we'll wrap this up. Oh, the big buck Slash, he came through December 27th. I thought he was gone, but he did show up. He didn't look real good. He was limping on his front right shoulder. So down here's where all the wildlife videos are shot, the majority of them. That's a low-lying creek. It's a black walnut tree. And here's a little peach tree. Here's the bees. I'd guess it's about 25 degrees out here right now. It is really cold. No wind, which is a good thing. So here's the pissy hives. There's one. There's a dead bee there. So they won't carry out their dead when they're in a cluster. They'll just stay in their cluster and the bees will just fall off, and they'll clean it up later. So I normally kept this blocked off, and look, I bet you a skunk has been here. Look down here for some, I call them skunk plugs. It'll be a ball of bees where they shoot them up. But yeah, I usually keep these reduced down like that. So I was running 40. I think I'm down like 6 maybe, so I'm like at 34 now. So here's some empty spaces. So here's the Apamay conversion. Yeah, I got them down to one hole. So I did that when I did the OA treatment. So I need to open that back up a little bit in case it's plucked off. Here's my Hive Alive tool. Those are awesome if you don't have any. You can get a 10% off if you use my promo code. I think it's called Darren10 is my code when you go into Hive Alive. Yeah, I'm not seeing any skunk plugs around here. So here's the little Apamay newt, like I showed you, the one that I bought at the expo. And let's see, we need to shut these off here. I didn't realize that was like that. And this isn't clamped down. Boy, just falling apart on the job here. I wonder what those back ones look like. Let's see, they're blocked off. Okay. So I have all my entrance reducers on, and I use the big ones this year instead of putting the small. There's the Ceracell Hive Defender bottom board I got from Thomas, and I have the beast blocker off of it right now. That's the thing that goes over this front and slides down for robbing. No chance of robbing right now, so we're good. So these bees should be all clustered up. Over here to the south side. Yep, Hive 15's gone. 14. Hive formerly known as 13, now 99. That's good. There's the single with the Ceracell bottom. Hive 10 didn't make it. Remember, I tried to nurse that thing all through the year, and it just couldn't get right. That's what happens when you limp along. At some point, they're just not going to make it. So I combined that somewhere. if they, no, wait a minute, that was the wax moth disaster. So yeah, hive 10 was gonzoed. And hive 3, these two hives here, 1 and 2, were loaded with honey. I pulled I think 2 or 3 frames out of each one of those to use later. And this is the row where I've been experimenting some with single deep hive management. And there's my hive top from Dave Rowden. It's insulated. All right. So over here's where my burn pit, where I was burning up my trees I burned up from the tornado that I cut up. And I had one over here. I drug it over here and cut it. And it came from right over there. And my neighbor lost a great big tree. See it right there. This is a big old, I can't remember the name of the tree, but it was huge, and it took it out, that tornado. So all the houses that are up along here that had fences, all the fences are blown over, and that tornado come right across here. And when it got to the school 2 miles down to my north, it took the whole roof off of the school. Then it went on to Oklahoma City and did a lot of damage up that way. So this here is a mimosa tree. It's mostly dead. So my plan was to take it out this winter, and it's starting to put up suckers. You can see the bark's falling off of it. But the freeze where we had like 3-4 days of 13 below zero is what pretty much killed this tree. It's been growing out of suckers all this time, and the main limbs are dead. So here's the little trees coming up from the roots. I put a ribbon on them so they don't get mowed off. But it might come back from that, I don't know. Hey, so this is just a quick little bonus video. It's the next day, and yeah, they said it was going to snow. It sure did. I think we got probably between 5 and 6 inches, I'd say. And the sun's just come out. It's right at 32 degrees right now. So I'm going to take a quick walk down by the beehives and see what they look like. So in my last walk around that you just saw, this trailer was in the background, some of it, and I never did talk about it. So I mentioned in my unboxing video that I got some stuff from my uncle, and he passed away last year, and his wife gave me a lot of his beekeeping equipment. So I've got a lot of medium boxes right here, and there's a couple shallow boxes. He had some buckets that looked like he used when he did cutouts and things. He used to remove bees. I got some nuke lids, another super. Yeah, I just haven't had time to load this out and get it out of the weather. And some shims. So a lot of good stuff from my uncle. So I really appreciate his wife giving me a call and taking care of this. And it was in an old barn out there. A lot of mud daubers were in a lot of the frames, so the frames are pretty much shot. So some of this he made himself, and some of it he purchased. I think all these lids and bottoms he made them himself. Let's check on these chickens. I locked them up when it got really cold. They may want out for a little bit. And I have a heat lamp going in here. Have the temperature set to 40, so it'll go off when it gets to 40 degrees. And there's a heated water dish in here as well. Hey ladies, how are you? It's 47 degrees in here. Yeah, they're doing good, except they're in the dark. Looks like I got some eggs over there I need to get. We've got 11 chickens. Got LED lighting in here. And I got a solar unit, and it's charging that battery, and automatic door. Except I got the outside manual door shut right now. Let's get down there and let them out. So behind this door is the automatic door that goes up and down, and it shuts down in the evening in case raccoon or bobcat gets in here. They're locked up and safe. Okay, and I've got net over the top, so keep the hawks out, because I've had hawks get in here too. And this run goes all the way around my garden except the very front, so it helps keep bugs out of the garden a little bit. Okay, enough about the chickens. Looks like something passed down through here. I would guess that is a coyote track or a yote track, which is our dog. We named him Yote. Yeah, it's pretty out here. Nice with the sun shining. So the important thing about snow is you can't let it sit on the entrances for long periods of time, because the bees don't get proper ventilation. Whoa! Man, I about bit it. So yeah, it's already melted off of these. That sun's shining right in the front door. Yeah, so there's a lot of snow right there on that Apame entrance, but the little holes are open, so they're fine. That one's close, but it's okay. And this snow melts fast in Oklahoma. Next week it'll probably be 70 degrees. It's kind of neat how that snow just kind of twisted. None on there. Yeah, they look good. So that's odd. This one, well, these here are covered up. So looks like the snow just hadn't melted off of there yet. Actually, it's backed away. You can see right there. Oh, this is that Ceracell bottom. So it's plastic. Probably stays a little cooler. And then there you can see their entrance is open. Now this one doesn't look like it. It looks covered up. There we go. It's funny how some still have snow on them and some don't have any. If that has to do with the size of cluster in there, maybe. This was completely uncovered. And that one still has it. It may just be the way the sun's hit it here. But yeah, this will all be gone by the end of the day. Off the hives anyway. That one's covered, but it's not blocked. You can see it's open there in the back. Or is it? No, that's a shadow. It's actually over here. There we go. So they'd be okay if I didn't do that, but when it gets really cold, you don't want them to have that over there for a long period of time. So that's interesting. But that cluster is right on this side down below, which there should be an inner cover on there. But that's kind of odd the way that's. These are doing that too. It's concave right there. So that's the heat coming off of the bees. That's interesting. I've never noticed that before. They're all that way. Except this one, there's a rock there. But yeah, look at that. It's got that little dip. The bees are melting it. Now this over here has that Dave Rowden insulated cover. You see, there's no heat escaping out of there. And those bees are staying warmer. Their heat's staying inside rather than going up. So that's a good thing. And there's a lot of snow in the front of that one. It's more in the shade. There we go. Yeah. These ones here get more shade. There. All right, that's it. Just want to do a quick little walk around, show you the snow, and add this to the end of that other video. A lot going on around here in December to get all of that stuff done, and I'm still not done, and that's why I haven't been shooting a lot of videos. I've been trying to get caught up and with all my projects, plus getting the bees ready. So I'm looking forward to 2025 and showing you how I do my bees in 25. I'm planning on doing a little bit of a change up. I'm going to focus on more stronger hives and not limping along those hives that aren't doing well. I'm just going to cull them right away. That's my plan anyway. And I always say that and I don't do it. But this year I want to do that. I want to focus on keeping strong hives that are going to be good producers and maybe not just as many hives. So that's what I'm going to try and do in 25. That's a little different. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoy the walk around and see what all I got going on around here. Looking forward to some warmer weather. It's supposed to snow tomorrow, and get making some bee videos and get going in the spring and hopefully have a successful year like we did in 2025. So hit the like button if you would and subscribe if you hadn't subscribed to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.